Hi there, Joe Tremaine here. We're so excited to spend some time today with one of the top agents for choreographers in LA. She is the pioneer of dance agents, Julie McDonald, founder and owner of MSA. Julie talks about becoming a choreographer in Los Angeles and much more. Let's do it.
When you've got people like Bill T. Jones and Garth Fagan and Danny Ezerlo on Broadway, these are people with strong contemporary backgrounds, so teaching is a great way to define your own style. Primarily, we bring them up. You know, we've represented people for over 20 years here. There are a few different ways a director or choreographer gets signed by MSA. First of all, we rarely sign directors that haven't been choreographers first. So 99% of our directors are director choreographers. We represent one person who's not a choreographer, but he's got a very musical background and he's directed tours for some artists that we think are really interesting. We don't represent directors for film or television. We represent them for all live work, primarily tours and sit-down shows and things like that. A fusion. Fusion, contemporary slash hip-hop in a way. Hip-hop has become more contemporary. Contemporary's incorporated more hip-hop. You know, unless someone's going for that pure razzle-dazzle Broadway style, that's kind of a pure style still, even though it may change. Even Broadway's changed. I mean, when you've got people like Bill T. Jones and Garth Fagan and Danny Ezerlo on Broadway, these are people with strong contemporary backgrounds. So you see that Broadway has reached out. I think contemporary dance and going to contemporary choreographers is really a trend in terms of Broadway. And because of So You Think You Can Dance, it's kind of become a trend in television. There's just not one clear style. What happened to, you can't even know, what is jazz anymore, you know? People don't even use that term. Kind of, you know, it's hip-hop has had the most, I say, profound influence on dance, and there was a time when there was just pure hip-hop and pure crumping, and there's a new style now that for some reason escapes me at this exact moment, but in the end, things tend to fuse together into new styles. Ballet is pure, but even ballet looks to contemporary choreographers to kind of give them, look what the Los Angeles Ballet is doing right now. They went to 3 of our clients last year and they commissioned pieces for the ballet. You know, they took these sort of, you know, high profile commercial choreographers and they let them do full-length pieces. That was challenging for the choreographers. It happens a lot on rock and roll music tours, you know, they're asked to choreograph, but in the end they end up doing so much more than that. And they may retain that title of choreographer. Some artists aren't willing to give the title of director to a choreographer or to a real director. They want to retain that credit sometimes for themselves, so we try to work in an artistic director credit or a creative director credit. But primarily what's happened to people who know what they're doing in the music industry, they see the value of a director slash choreographer to collaborate with the artist, to collaborate with all the different departments, lighting, costume design, just like a Broadway show for a tour in the music industry. So we also represent a few director choreographers for Broadway as well, but primarily we bring them up. You know, we've represented people for over 20 years here. So we just try to develop their careers to the next level. Not all of them want to do that. Not all of them are capable of doing that. But the ones who are, we try to segue them into that new level of their creativity. Teaching is a great way to define your own style. So I think that's, some dancers don't want to teach. Some, they want to go right into choreography, and that's fine too, you know, but teaching just allows you that opportunity to create your own distinctive style without ignoring the responsibilities of being a good teacher. But I think teaching is important, and I also think it's important to work with a group of your friends or a group of dancers that you want to work with to create pieces that, I mean, everything's up on YouTube now. Everything's, you know, people now get hired from YouTube. So, you know, you just have to keep creating. I think it's really important that people know their history. When we see dancers or choreographers who don't know their past, their history. I've had people who do not know who Jerome Robbins or Bob Fosse, or even more recent history, let's say a Lester Wilson, let's say a Claude Thompson, let's say a Michael Peters, let's say some of those people. If you don't know who those people are, kind of go back and learn it. This is why I want to start a school. You know, but I think it's their responsibility. One of my favorite clients, and I think yours too, is Wade Robson. He knew who all those people were when he was 14 years old. I still love what I do 25 years later, and we're still, you know, we have 13 people here in our company. We have a New York office with 4 people, and things could not be going better. And really thrilled with that old knee injury. That gave me a whole new career.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to visit the Master Talent Teachers website regularly for more new and exciting videos.